Hi, I'm Richard. I'm from Thousand Oaks, California. I traveled down to Costa Mesa to see Dr. Tong for very effective treatments, probably better treatments than I've had ever in the past. I became sick after an auto accident in 1970, and I've been steadily going downhill since that time. I had heart I visited Dr. Tong because of heart problems, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, all of which was the result of open heart surgery in 1997. And I just have become weaker and weaker. It's been harder to breathe. The pain from the fibromyalgia was dominating my life. I've been going to pain clinics for treatment that just never touched the right spot, never made me feel comfortable. I was always uncomfortable, couldn't sleep. I only got 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep at night. I finally got off of the pain medication because I was having bad reactions, still only sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night, until 2 or 3 months ago when I came in to see Dr. Tong and started receiving those injections, and I lengthened my sleep time to 5 to 6 hours.
What kind of people have treated you so far?
Doctors with credentials a foot long. The treatment that I received in the past was Vicodin. I've had morphine. I've had Demerol. I used to go to the hospital 12 to 17 times a year for Demerol. I would go into almost a coma-like state because of the pain and the exhaustion, not being able to breathe or talk or walk. I went to a pain clinic where every month I got my pain meds, trigger point injections, and very often they went into the spinal cord with using a fluoroscope to actually find places where there was blockages. However, the medication they used only made me sicker and tireder, and the anxiety level in my body just grew each and every day, or each and every month basically, when I saw them. I went to a local doctor who was expert in nutrition as well as medicine. It only seemed though that the medications or the supplements he gave me drove certain organs of my body that made me feel even more uncomfortable. And again, it caused me a lack of sleep and a lack of a sense of comfort, of relaxation. In the past, I've had problems with diabetes that caused neuropathy in my legs. Recently, I'd had a torn meniscus that I went to the pain clinic. They gave me or set me up for the operation, and they treated me for over a year for the pain, but the pain never went away. I assume that there was many other men in the same condition I was. They asked an acupuncturist to come in to see if he could help. He was once the personal physician to the Shah of Iran before he was disposed, and he had literally brought the pain under control because of acupuncture in 3 weeks. The acupuncture treatment I received took the pain away. It went away the very first time he hit it with the needles, and then gradually over the week it'd come back. The next week, another treatment, slowly it would come back, and then by the 3rd treatment, the pain had gone away altogether. The unfortunate thing is that they never asked him back to treat more pain problems with other patients, as well as the continuing fibromyalgia pain that I had. The problem I had walking, because of the neuropathy in my legs, kept me from doing any kind of work. It kept me in a chair all the time. I was always having to hold on to something just to get from the chair to the front door. The pain was indescribable, to let you know that the acupuncturist who came and worked on my leg, he not only worked on that, the leg not only itself got better, but my whole neuropathy got better. Later, I went on a light diode treatment at my diabetic doctor's office that helped with the rest of the neuropathy. In 1997, I had been diagnosed with aortic aneurysm and a failing aortic valve. up to that time, I was more or less felt like I was a whole person. I was able to use my body and my mind to basically compensate for a lot of the symptoms I felt from the chronic fatigue, the fibromyalgia, and as it turned out, the diabetes that began just shortly before the operation. After the operation, whatever they gave me in the operating room, they had to paralyze me because they pack your chest with ice. I was so cold and I was shaking so bad that they had to paralyze me because they thought I would shake the incision loose. After that time, after getting up out of bed, walking, getting home, something was lost. Something had left me. My precognition, my psychic abilities, my understanding of a lot of things diminished greatly. And it was something that I felt had been literally pulled out of my body, had been literally missing. When I first came to Dr. Tong, I was at the point where I didn't know if I was going to last the rest of the year. My symptoms had just grown dramatically over the winter, and a friend of mine had remembered that he had seen Dr. Tong a few years back and gave him back his legs to walk. But for me, it was this horrible feeling in my body that all of my energy was gone, all of my sensibility was gone, and it was just a struggle and suffering each and every day. The first 3 treatments turned that completely around. With Dr. Tong's first treatment, my pain began to subside. The tension and the stress I felt in my body because of the up and down of my blood sugars began to subside. I had only been sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night before I saw Dr. Tong, and after that first treatment, I started sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night. And I could lay in bed longer. And I'm always tired. But just being able to lay there without tension, without anxiety building up because of the pain I felt in my body was everything that I needed. Since that time, too, things just are gradually improving. The drinks I'm supposed to drink, the herbs, everything has an accumulative effect that's allowing me to feel like I'm going to come back into health one more time. I've had 6 treatments with Dr. Tong. Since that very first treatment, my blood sugars, which were always running at 170 to 190, have dropped now to 130 to 140. My body just is not feeling that horrible stress of the blood sugar going way too high and then sometimes going too low. Right now my blood pressure, which was always up above 140, has dropped now to borderline, which is 135 to 140. My pain level is amazing. The thing that causes the most stress has subsided to where I don't even notice it. I had a hard time walking up just to get into the elevator in this building. Now I don't notice it. Now I feel like I have energy. I feel like I can wake up in the morning and actually move and walk and talk, where before the depression that came along with all these symptoms was just overwhelming. Before my medications were 2 types of blood pressure medication, pain medication, sleep medication, insulin for my diabetes, and I've been able now with this 6th treatment to get rid of the blood pressure medication, sleep medication, and I'm still working on the insulin and Nexium for ulcer. One of the big things has been my psychic ability and my precognition, which Dr. Tong now has begun and is starting to work on that. So I hope by this next time I've already won the lottery with my psychic ability. Not really. This last treatment, well, this is the 6th treatment. This treatment has helped to open up my breathing ability. My chest seems to get so stressed and so tight because, well, as Dr. Tong says, it's been blocked. And he's relieving that, and I'm able to take a deep breath and not struggle so hard to get of breath in. My heart does not seem to be beating against my chest wall and causing something that happens in my head. I'm not sure what that is yet. But Dr. Tong thinks that he's going to take that and bring back my psychic abilities with it.